Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to North Hobart Oval. The sun's gone away, but we have a very, very nice game of football on the way for you via this live stream, thanks to Melbourne Victory. I'm Damien Gill from Football Federation Tasmania down here in Hobart. I'll be calling this one live, whistle to whistle, uninterrupted over this live stream with my partner in crime, Corn Dog, Trent Cornish. How are you, mate?
Good, Gilly. A bit blustered. Bit flustered and blustered with the wind. It's pretty full on today, but hopefully it doesn't detract from what should be a good game of football.
We'll go through the teams quickly. We'll start with the away side, and the keeper first of all, Nichevsky, Ryle, German. Who else is staying? Dimitrovic, Smelts. Shane Smelts, one of my favourites. I'm looking forward to seeing him go about it. Gersbach, Antonis, Nicky Carl, Mark Yanko, of course, the Austrian skipper, and a power forward for them, Calver and Burgess, make up the Sydney FC lineup. And, of course, the coach, Graham Arnold, Arnie, he's got quite a pedigree about him, and he's crossed over the Sky Blues this year. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with them. The referees today, Sean Evans, Luke Brennan, George Lacarindis, and Brenton Copra IV. Melbourne Victory's lineup, Nathan Coe, Jason Guerrier, Mark Milligan, the skipper, of course, the Socceroo, Guy Finkler. I've got to say, Corn Dog, I'm going to admit it right here, he's my boy, the Fink. Love the way he goes about it, and I will get quite excited if the Fink gets up and about with some shots from range today. Bessart Barisha, I think a lot of people here in Tasmania, that's who they've piled in to see. Undoubtedly one of the best players in the A-League. Archie Thompson, of course, an old favourite, and he's still going strength to strength, to be honest. He's like a fine wine, is Archie. Connor Payne, who's been in really good touch in the pre-season. Daniel Georgievski, of course, Macedonian international, used to play for a club in the UEFA's Champions League, so fair pedigree about him as well. Del Pierre, the big centre-back that's crossed over, and he's looked the goods thus far. Carl Valeri, of course, another Socceroo, central defensive midfielder. He'll be important. And the former skipper, Adrian Leyer, makes up the 11 for Melbourne Victory today in what should be a pulsating clash down here at North Hobart Oval.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gilly, from a Victory perspective, geez, they've put a fair little 11 together this year. They're looking like quite the force, and I'd have to say from what I've seen in the pre-season so far, they're the early favourite. Sydney FC should be knocking on the door. Wherever Arnie's gone, he seemed to have done pretty well. Obviously, not with the Mariners anymore, but he should bring a lot to Sydney FC. You'd think they'll be pretty solid defensively. And with the capture of Shane Smelts, a bit of a journeyman now, you'd have to think it should be a good tussle. Maybe two of the best teams in the A-League finding out today down here at North Hobart Oval. Obviously, it's usually an AFL ground, but I tell you what, the football pitch is looking quite a treat in the middle of North Hobart Oval today. We've got the old scoreboard happening, and people still piling in, so hoping to get a better crowd than last year. Always looking upwards in Tasmania, hoping to grow the publicity of the game. Just off the finish of a pretty fantastic second year of the State League, the Victory League down here in Tasmania, and we've obviously had the curtain raiser of the Victory development team going down to the mighty Tasmanian team, the Invitational 11, I'll call it.
Yeah, they were really quite impressive, Tasmania. They came in, if the bookies had a market for it, they would have been long odds, but then Victory, they didn't drop down any of their first-team players. Unlike last year, they had Guy Finkler and Naboo running around, and they caused all sorts of havoc last year. I think my boy, the Fink, slotted about 3. He was on fire. This year, it was the Youth League team, and Tasmania took it up to him. And the good thing about it, Corn Dog, is it was some of the youngsters that are around the same age as those Youth League boys that stole the show. Michael Holden in particular, superb.
Yeah, look, I guess that's that we've got some fantastic players that probably have passed the peak in terms of getting scouted and maybe going to a higher level. Obviously, we had Russell Courtney at the back, a bit of a fly in ways, playing for the Zebras this year, the Englishman, and people like that who obviously have the experience, and it's not so much of a test of the standard for them. But it's when we see those new ones that don't get that sort of so many people watching them every week. Obviously, the quality goes up. And for them to rise to the occasion is a good sign for everyone, really. And it shows that maybe if we can consistently bring that week by week in the Victory League, then we'll do even better on the national stage.
100% correct, and it's a good time to do it with the victory against the Victory Youth League, because those younger boys are still in the frame. If they see Darren Davies see something he likes, you just never know. They might be invited along for a trial, and it could be kickstart something wonderful. But I think the Tassie boys will have a good afternoon, a good night. I think they're up to the corporate function, and I'll have a couple of little quiet sherbets off the back of that one, because it was a very, very good win. My highlight, apart from Tassie's performance, was undoubtedly the celebration of Tim Lunnon on the first goal. Wish we had Tim Lunnon, Cam. Would have been incredible viewing. He's gone the huge fist pump in the air and then a power slide. It was incredible from Timmy Lunn. But on to this game, as Graham Arnold looks to stroll onto the pitch. We are not far away at all, Corn Dog. How do you see this one going? Of course, Sydney FC a little bit under strength in comparison to Melbourne Victory, have almost rolled out probably their best 11, just about. Yeah,
look, for mine, the only result I see is a Victory win on a couple of fronts. Obviously, Sydney FC might not be at the best, the fullest strength that they could possibly feel today. But Victory's pre-season so far, I saw a ridiculous stat on their Twitter the other day. I think it was before even they played Tuggerong, where I think they dealt with them pretty easily, 6 or 7. I think they put past them. They've shipped in nearly 50 goals and conceded less than 2, I think. Just a fantastic pre-season. You can say maybe not the standard of the A-League for sure, but winning's a habit, and it becomes a bit contagious, and hopefully that's sort of kicked them off, and I reckon they'll continue on their winning way today. Sydney FC will obviously have a fantastic amount of quality, but I just think with those couple missing maybe from their first 11 that they won't be able to quite get the job done today.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is a fearsome-looking lineup that Melbourne Victory are rolling out. I think there's a lot of players in good form, and they've compiled quite not just an 11, but an extended squad that's, I think, will be right up at the pointy end of things this year, Corn Dog. I think, as you said a bit earlier, that for me they firm as the team to beat this year, and what better way for a Tasmanian that we don't really get a lot of taste of A-League action down here, so we've got quite a tantalising fixture ahead of us in one of the A-League's fiercest rivalries, and Melbourne Victory, which is their last A-League pre-season for the year, looking just to get things tickety-boom, getting them working for their first A-League hit-out in a couple of weeks. I expect to see Victory take this one out pretty comfortably. I'm expecting 3-0.
Harsh on the Sydney boys, but fair. I certainly think they might have a bit too much class. I'm excited to see how Archie Thompson performs. Obviously, I think he might have been in the A-League from day dot. Just with the inclusion of Best Up Brescia, obviously it might push Archie a bit further wide this year. And while as a striker, you don't think that's naturally going to help you in terms of the goals. I think the fact is Brescia's going to have all the focus on him. Playing that central role, Archie's going to have room to move, and I'm really excited to see how many he can put in the back of the net this year. That's one to watch, I reckon, just for even a lift in numbers, which have always been exceptional.
So the players line up, and we are not far away at all. Corn Dog, a couple of Sydney FC coaching staff have had a bit to do with Tasmanian football, but I saw last night Tilford Zebras president having a quiet drink with Spider Kalach. Of course, last year played around in our Victory League and did all right. But this is the home, away from home of Melbourne Victory, and I expect them to play it that way. Last year we saw them down at Kingston, and straight from the word go they were on. And I'm expecting it again. They've trained here all week. They know the surface. The crowd will be predominantly cheering for the mighty boys in blue, and I think they'll get the job done, as I said. As Milligan strolls over to take the toss, and we are not far away at all here. It's been great to have Melbourne Victory in the state, Corn Dog. They've done a lot of community work, getting around, working with kids in schools, hospital visits, that sort of stuff. Plenty of chances for people to meet them. It's been fantastic for the local community because, as I said before, we very rarely get tastes of A-League action like this, and high-class football doesn't come across our shores too much. So it's been great to have them down here, and the work they've done has just been superb.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I think it's given you an opportunity to just refine your chauffeuring skills, from what I've heard. Just need to get the boys up and about and around the place. So It's been good for you to mingle with your favourite team as well, Dame. I'm sure you haven't minded that too much.
Haven't minded at all. Of course, I've only been with Football Federation Tasmania for probably 18 months, but before that I was an avid Melbourne Victory fan, so it has been good. A nice side to the job, just hanging with a few of the boys. Archie Thompson, I've got to say, as a Melbourne football fan as well, we've had a couple of chats about that. No, but it's been good, so I'm really looking forward to what they bring out here today against Sydney FC. We've got some fresh faces as well, Corndog. We've spoken a bit about Melbourne Victories, but so does Sydney FC. And Sydney FC will be firing towards the Horry-Gorringe end, and Melbourne Victory, they're going to the place to stand end. And we're not far away at all from a kick-off here. Shane Smelts over it. Of course, as Corndog said, a bit of a journeyman, and we have kick-off. Back they go, Sydney FC, and it's with Antonis. He plays it forward. Leia gets on it with her head, looking for Milligan. He's bustled over by Burgess and a free kick. The Socceroo drives it out wide, looking for Archie Thompson. Bounces away from him and out of play. So a throw-in for Sydney FC. The Sky Blues. Throwing down the line. And it's cut off well by Jason Guerrier. Throwing now for Victory. Guerrier goes to Leia and a loud set of blue wheels. Across to Del Pierre. And back to Del Pierre. It goes from Georgievski. They played around well here, Victory. Georgievski on the ball. Along to Connor Payne. Payne was absolutely phenomenal against Tuggeranong the other week, Corndog. Of course, Tuggeranong, we took a liking to them when they came down here against South Hobart. We were cheering madly for South Hobart, but we couldn't help but get caught up in Tuggeranong and the way they go about it. Love their style. Dimitrovich plays it through, and it's cut off well by Valeri, but not so well, says the referee, and pulls that one up for a foul. So Sky Blues go across through Antonis. He gets along, finds Ryle. Plays this one long and strong, and Coe should mop up comfortably at the back.
So Victory looked bring it out slowly from the back. We've got a pretty high line being played by Sydney FC here. We're going to put not too much pressure on the back four, but I dare say as soon as it moves into the midfield, we'll see Sydney FC push right up. Out on the right-hand side now. Guerrero on the ball, tries to turn inside, does well to keep it. It's now with Leia at the back. Plays across to his new centre-back pairing, Del Pierre. Del Piero out, Del Pierre in. It's different clubs as well.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, that, Corndog, but play on as Del Pierre goes across to Leia. Because Leia was, from all reports, he's looking pretty good on the track, and I've got to say, what I've seen over the last couple of days, he's looking pretty good. I think Del Pierre is a huge get for them. They've just really strengthened up their spine as the ball goes down the right-hand side, picks out Thompson well. It's the Fink on the ball. Oh, my boy, the Fink almost weasels his way through, but it's cut off by the Sky Blues defence. Throwing now through Guerrier. Picks out Valeri, but he has it taken off him for an instant. It comes to Milligan, and Valeri's bustled over as he looks to move it down the right. Free kick for the boys in blue. It might be my boy Fink over this one, Corndog.
Yeah, he's not bad on the set piece. Probably a little bit too far out for him to shoot, I reckon. And with this wind, well, with the wind, maybe a bit of a wild card from distance with the free kicks. Saw my favourite Stephen Jarrett hit a reasonable one last night. It goes forward now, but it's overhit and it's cleared by Sydney FC. Out long and strong and out on the far side for a throw into the Victory. Bit of atmosphere trying to be created in the wet area, but I think they need a few more numbers just to get it up and going. We've still got people coming in the gate. Out on the left-hand side now. It's with Georgievski. Plays it forward. Barisha can't quite get a toe on it, but it's ended up with Payne, his teammate. On the left-hand side, he's got Barisha providing an option on the left-hand side. Tries to get it in, but it's deflected out and should be a corner. The first corner of the game for Melbourne Victory.
Yeah, nice bit of work there by Calver just to see that one at bay. As Barisha, he's a tricky customer. I think every team in the A-League knows that all too well. Of course, former Brisbane Raw star, he's crossed over to the Big V, and he's adding to an already potent strike force. So it'll be a corner here for Victory, and the weather's really taken a turn down here in Hobart. So it's the Fink to deliver into a crowded box over the head of everyone. Bounces out for a throw in.
Fair to say, I think he was taking that one with the wind behind him. That just flew, and no one even got close to that in the end, and it bounced very quickly to the far side. Throw into Sydney FC. Deep in the area, Victory looked to push a lot of numbers forward, try and keep it in a dangerous area. Goes back to take. He throws it long. Can't find a teammate though, and it's going to be mopped up at the back by Delpierre. He throws it all the way back to Coes, well out of his box. Plays it forwards with a captain, Mark Milligan. He plays it laterally, all out on the left foot, all the way out here to Georgievski. He plays it back inside with Delpierre. Slow build up once again from the Victory. A couple of runs being made. Archie Thompson trying to cut in on their right hand side. Connor Payne sticking well out wide on the paint on the left here. Georgievski plays it forward, done well. Finkler keeps the hold of the ball well. But it's back out again with Delpierre. He looks to go laterally again. That's a good ball. Gets it moving, but Guerrier couldn't quite get on the end of that one, and it looked like a good piece of play from Delpierre as the rain might have just popped down for a little bit. It seems to be nearly horizontal as well, so the fans scamper for some cover. As the ball goes forwards with Mark Millen in a good area now. Tries to play it forward. It's cut out well as it looked to find Finkler in the middle. And now Sydney FC will start an attack. It's with Ryle on the right-hand side here. Looks to go forward and does now.
Burgess.
It's with Burgess. Plays it back inside. Burgess managed to hold on to it and does well to win a foul out of Finkler.
So, yeah, the rain starting to come down here at North Hobart Oval, and fans try to pile into the covered terraces as Sydney FC look to spread it out on the right. It's Culver over the ball and back along. Of course, a few familiar faces missing from this lineup. Corndog, the likes of a Beanie, Brosk, all sort of haven't come down with the Sky Blues, who of course have had a FFA Cup tie midweek, so a bit of a busy schedule for them. But for Victory, this is the last real dress rehearsal before the season proper, as Georgievski delivers down the left and he's looking for Payne. He's collected in the end by Ryle, so they take the free kick quickly through Valeri. Goes out wide to Guerrier on halfway. He steers it back to Leia. There's big Delpierre on the ball. Imposing figure out on the pitch. Through goes to the Fink. He'll try a bit of trickery. Sharked off him by Smelts. Goes back to Burgess, and then it ends at Smelts on the ball. Bursting down the right. Looks to deliver in. Sells Georgievski some candy. Comes back out to Burgess. He's wide on the right here. Pressured well by Victory. It's Ryle who retreats and goes back to Culver. And they'll look to regroup Sydney FC. Good defence there by Victory just to close down what looked like it was going to be a dangerous attacking opportunity for Sydney FC out on the right.
Antonis plays it forward. Finds Burgess who gives it straight back. It's back now with Calver. He switches play on the left-hand side. Sydney FC might find a bit more space. Tries to play it forward, and it's going to be a foul to Sydney FC. As Archie Thompson just not quite used to the defensive work he might have to do sometimes in the wing roll, and he gives away a foul. Comes centrally, Antonis tries a bit of a sharp flick. It didn't quite pay off, and now Victory could be away. It's with Connor Payne. We know he's got some good wheels on him. Has to turn back inside on the right foot. He plays it across. Milligan sharply turns away from the big Yanko. Big boy. It's now with Valeri. Reasonable little central midfield pairing. Obviously, two ex-Socceroos, Milligan and Valeri. A handy acquisition, Damo.
Milligan, current Socceroo, who selected in the squad the other day.
Oh, I'm not saying Valeri, never know, might be in the next one. It's just more they've both played at that level. Absolutely.
Oh, it's a great midfield. We've talked about the 11 of Victory and how they're spoiled for choice somewhat, and that's a very cynical little challenge there from Burgess, just handling Georgievski. Very lucky to escape the slice of cheese there, Condog.
Well, I think maybe it's just the kindness that he's offering with the free cuddles that he didn't get one, because that was just a little spoon from behind from Burgess there. I'm not sure if it was just being experienced, but just couldn't have made it any more blatant.
If I'm mistaken, the back of his shirt says Georgievski and not free hugs.
Yeah, I'd hope it doesn't say free hugs. Very be easy to pronounce, though. On the right-hand side, it's with Guerrier. Plays it inside. Valera does well to flick it forward, but Archie Thompson's not as wide as the fullback, and then turns it back inside. It's with Antonis now. Now on the right. Calv's in a good spot to play it forward. Finds the feet of Smelts, but the laydown's not quite good enough. It's with Barisha now. He's got a chance to move forward. Payne offering down the left. Archie Thompson in the middle. Plays in Payne now. He's onside. Chance to get in across. Flicks it in now. Nichevsky gets down well to his left. Looked like it might squirm away, but he's managed to hold on. And Sydney FC will restart things at the back. On the left-hand side, we have Gersbach. Plays it inside now. Bit of pressure on again, though. Victory can't quite win it, as German's attempted clearance is blocked, and it's out for a throw-in to Sydney FC.
So probably the best chance thus far, Corn Dog.
Yeah, look, without any real chances at all, I guess we have to settle with that one as being the best chance. A bit depressing, really, but good bit of play for Barisha and Payne. They've combined a couple of times nicely now on the left-hand side. Ball comes forward, the lofted through ball. Doesn't quite hit a target, and the wind carries a long way away, which could get Sydney FC a chance to push up and put a bit of pressure on. We haven't really seen Sydney FC, bar once on the right-hand side near us on the commentary side. Haven't really pressured in their half at all, so they can win the ball back, put a bit of pressure on the other way. Hopefully the game might open up a little bit more. It's with Leia, all the way back at his own 18-yard box. Back to Ko, then back to Leia on the right-hand side. Gary's got a bit of room to move here. Not that keen to move it forward. It's with Del Pierre. Harder defence for the Victory. Back to Leia. Now we look to be moving forwards with Guerrier.
Through it goes. Barisha on the ball, and it's taken off him by Nicky Carl straight up. So out for a throwing. Guerrier into Barisha. Gets it across to Valerian, back to Guerrier. They move it well. Victory back to their defence. Leia to Del Pierre. And across to Georgievski. He's got one to contend with. Plays down the line, looking for Payne. It's taken away by Ryle. And across it goes through Culver. And then it comes lost through German. And he looks to run down the left-hand side as pressure coming from Victory. Guerrier slides into him. It's probably a slice of cheese, I would have thought, that Corn Dog. But yet again, they're escaping the fabled slice of cheese as it comes across.
Kevin Muscat,
Culver
absolutely filthy with that call. Could hear it from here. The profanity. Wasn't pleased with the referee's call at all.
Roll on the ball. Plays it back to the defence. He's dealt with as well. Still no slice as Culver plays it out to the left. Beyond halfway they go. Puts it back to halfway. Carl slides in. Gets a fair chunk of Barisha there, and Barisha's down for the count. As Sydney FC continue to play down the right-hand side. Rao dishes inboard. Is collected this time by Milligan. And this one's a foul as the referee goes over to check on Barisha, who's still down from the previous challenge. So, fair bit going on. The wind blustery as ever down here at North Hobart Oval, causing havoc for all involved. As you can see from the telecast, our signs down here at North Hobart are about to be collapsed because the wind was not too kind for them, Corn Dog, in the first game. So it looks like play resume here as it's played short from Sydney FC out to German. Goes back to his keeper Nichevsky. Dishes forward, looking for Smelts. Del Pierre meets it first. Out it goes, looking for Thompson. Thompson might just keep it in beyond halfway, but unfortunately the line beats everyone.
Yeah, he goes back getting involved. I think he's finding the plays coming towards his left flank there a bit more than usual with the wind pushing it over there. Plays it forward. Well controlled at first by Smelts, but then he loses it out, and Victory move it quickly with Georgievski. He's got Connor Payne offering down the line, decides to go back inside as we've seen a fair bit today, just holding onto the ball, the Victory. Now with Guerrier on the right-hand side, the loud wheels. Plays it forward, Archie Thompson tries to flick it inside, goes back, but a good bit of defensive play. It's out for a throw-in. Throws it all the way back to Leia. Had plenty of touches so far, Leia and Del Pierre. And it's with Del Pierre now. Not a lot of movement. So he has to go left out to Georgievski. Plays it forward. Milligan's done well to find a bit of space. Got Antonis ahead of him. Enough pressure from Terry Antonis, and the pass misses Connor Payne, so it's out for a throw-in. Seb Ryle to take for Sydney FC. Throws it inside with Antonis. Back out to Ryle, all the way back out now to Calver. Antonis gets another touch, turns around Milligan well, and then plays it out on the left-hand side. German's chance to release the pressure. It's now with Gers back. Archie Thompson collects a bit of the body. It's play on's called though, and it's with Valeri. Does well to win it back. Barisha with his back to goal. Plays it out well. Milligan on the ball now. On the left-hand side, we've got Georgievski. Is probably as far forward as we've seen him so far today. Looks to take on Burgess. Does well, but then it's Calver in a great spot to clear it. And Delpierre, he's got a bit of pressure coming from Smelts, and he just decides, I'll flick it over your head, my friend. Gives it to Milligan, who plays it forward. Georgievski, a chance to run. Burgess up against him, and Burgess does well to track back and get a touch on the pass. It's now with Ryle. Flicks it past inside Finkler. Haven't seen a lot of Finkler so far. It's with Calver, and he plays it all the way back out to Nachevsky. He should restart things for Sydney FC. It's with German. On the right-hand side, we've got Yanko re-entering the play. Didn't see him go off, but he's up and about now. And it's Calver on the ball.
Plays it forward down the right channel. And Georgievski meets it and bustles over his opponent in Burgess. Georgievski throws back, and Co should have this one. Also in the commentary box today, we've got the football journalist of the local rag, that is the Mercury, Alex Luttrell, beside me. Alex, early days in this one. We're just beyond 15 minutes. How have you seen things?
That hasn't been overly bad. Sydney really not really pressing at all, to be honest. I think that Victory struggling also to get through into the front third, but a lot of possession, well, they're dominating possession through the middle of the park, I think. Just need a little bit more precision. It's been physical, fairly good rhythm to it. I think both sides still coming into the fray. Last pre-season match for Victory. I'm not too sure about Sydney. I think they've got one more before the season proper starts. So, as I'll reiterate again, Kevin Muscat's sentiments that this game is very important going into the season opener against Western Sydney Wanderers, Gilly.
I have to say, not too many fans of our work out in the Twitter sphere, Corn Dog. As Georgievski drives down the left-hand side, but well dealt with by Nachevsky. And it bounces away and out of play. So it'll be a throw-in. Guerrier back to Leia. Seems to the crowd, despite the inclement weather, it seems that it's built in the last sort of half an hour or so. The far stand, the Roy Kazali stand, is pretty chockers, and Horry Gorringe and Place stand both quite full as well. Packed in to see this wonderful showcase of A-League football. Comes along, and it's playback from Antonis to the defence, and they'll look to get running out on the right-hand side. Sydney FC with Ryle on the ball. Plays it through, and it's met by Big Yanko. We haven't seen too much of him, Corn Dog. Cuts an imposing figure up top.
Yeah, it looks to be holding his back a little bit at times when he's resting, so I'm not sure if that's what he came off for before, just a little stretch, but hopefully we can see him at full fitness for the rest of the game. It's with Nicky Carl, plays it forward, does well, finds a teammate, good interplay from Sydney FC here. It's back inside, Antonis flicks it outside. And we are all the way back to the back four. It's with Calver. Out to the right-hand side with Ryle, plays it centrally. Good bit of space found from Sydney FC there. Dimitrijevic can't find Nicky Carl with the pass, though. And Gary is in to shut it out, but it's back with Dimitrijevic. Does well to restate his team in possession. Does well. Nicky Carl on the right-hand side. You got Ryle with a great run. He's not happy he didn't get the ball there. And Graham Arnold also not happy he didn't pass it to him. On the right-hand side, Antonis finds Ryle. He's asked a lot of Burgess here. It's Georgievich does well to head it to the outside, then tries to clear. It's over Milligan's head, but he managed to find Valeri. His header's deflected by Antonis. Now Nicky Carl. Back to goal. Has to give it all the way back out to Dimitrijevic again. Nicky Carl now in a bit of space on the left-hand side. Gers back. Chance to get a ball in. Instead flicks it forward with Nicky Carl. Up against Archie Thompson. Dimitrijevic on the right foot flicks it inside. Burgess managed to control. Now plays it forward. It's held up by Smelts. Maybe he should have left it. And now Victory look to counter-attack on the right-hand side now with Archie Thompson. We know he's got speed. He looks to play it forward, but Barisha not quite on the same wavelength. The pass is kept in by Sydney FC, and it will be Calvert to take it away. Plays a little 1-2 on the right-hand side now. Looks to flick it back inside. German on the ball. And still Sydney FC just building things up slowly from the back. It's with Calver. A lot of movement all of a sudden on the Victory bench as about 6 blokes just decided it's time for me to warm up. Maybe they're thinking that the performance of their teammates isn't up to scratch, Damo. Maybe they want a gig.
Yeah, chomping at the bit to get out there, Corn Dog. And they've had to turn the chairs over here, as is the conditions, that the wind will blow them away. Sydney FC on the ball now, as Milligan does well, cuts it off, gets it out to Payne, but a bit miscommunication between the pair. Sees Sydney FC steal this one back. Back in defence to play forward. It's Antonis on the ball. He gets it back to German. German long. They go out through the right. Ryle on the ball. Into the centre. Threaded through. It's the big fella Yanko on the ball. Gets it across to Carl. They look to spread out the left. They look on his Sydney FC. It's played into... Oh, it's played into Yanko. And he powers it home. Half a sniff and he takes it to perfection. The ball just gets through off the back heel of Leia, and he punishes that one and puts it straight in past Coe, and Sydney FC lead here at North Hobart Oval.
Yeah, certainly the ball from Gersbach, who did well to track on the wide areas in the left-hand side, looked to be not very imposing, but Leia probably won't want to see any replays of that one. Just couldn't quite get the feet sorted out, ended up just flicking it in the path of Yanko, who, once he got half that chance, as you said, Damo, took it with delight and just powered it home past Coe. Couldn't really do much, even though it was at the near post. From about 8 yards, he's just smashed it on the volley. And Yanko, haven't seen a lot of him so far, but one little influence and he's got a goal. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for the rest of the season. And we've called it back in play here. It's going to be a free kick to Melbourne Victory. Seems to be a bit reactionary, but a free kick all the same. Maybe the build-up play from both teams will maybe start to just lift up a little cog now with the game's first goal. Should be at Milligan to take. Yanko just making himself a bit of a pest, just sitting around the free kick. Milligan wants to go short, and he does now. It's with Delpierre. Every single player's, Bark and Nathan Coe, is in the attacking half for Melbourne Victory here, as they look to push forward and find the equaliser. It's another free kick. This one you think the Fink will be all over Domo. I reckon he'll line this one up in the wind. Should create a bit of havoc for Nechev. In goal for Sydney FC. And plenty of the tall timber, obviously Delpierre. Any set piece you think is pushed himself forward. There's no Sydney FC threat up front now. They've all gone back and help out in defence. As the Fink looks to line this one up. Measured approach, flicks in towards the near post. It's well cleared out by Sydney FC head. Seb Ryle, I believe, and it's going to be a throw-in to the Victory in a very attacking area.
It is indeed. It was, real clinical stuff from Yanko. First good look of the Austrian captain. Comes to Sydney FC with a pretty good pedigree as the throw-in comes in from Guerrier. Finkler looks to guide it back, but it's well stolen now. Carl puts it forward, looking for Smelts. It's off his chest, and with Burgess now, as they look to play it down the left-hand side. Should mop up here. Victory through Delpierre and Coe. Coe finds Milligan. He enters the bullseye and runs forward. Cuts by one, looks to find Valeri, can't quite. Yanko gets on the ball, finds Carl. Carl looks back to his defence and takes the option. It's German on the ball. They've done well here. Antonis gets it out on the right to Ryle. He guides it back in. Dimitrovic gets it out on the left-hand side. They played around it well here, Sydney FC. They've been quite clean in possession. As I say, they are putting the knockers on them, and Connor Payne picks it up for the Victory. Turns them inside out, and then he's collected by Ryle. It was a late challenge from Ryle. Payne took a tumble. It'll be a free kick for the Victory just beyond halfway down the left.
Yeah, a bit of a discussion there as Graham Arnold stepped over and just told his player maybe just take a little bit easy, as Kevin Musker was telling him in not quite so friendly terms to take it easy as well. But I think they were of the same view. It was probably a bit too much. We got the first slice of cheese for the day. to Seb Ryle.
Yeah, a yellow card to Seb Ryle. I think it was a bit of unfortunate timing from Ryle on that occasion. I think Payne just kept on going and he collected him, but he enters the book in the 24th.
Yeah, we've seen a few tackles very similar to that so far today, and maybe it's just the referees decide enough's enough. Despite it being a friendly, got to clamp down. And Gary on the ball plays it back. It's missed by Leia, but no trouble as Coe sweeps up at the back. It's with Delpierre. Plays it forward. Finkler, great touch. It's now with Milligan on the left-hand side. Tries to find Payne, managed to control it. He's up against Ryle. Oh, he just tries to go straight through him. Doesn't get a touch on it at all. It's play on. It's with Payne, back inside. Milligan, good touch again. Well played by the Victory. Payne's just a little sloppy so far. Everyone else pretty sharp as Finkler plays it forward. It's a ball or nothing there. Tackle from Ryle. We went straight through the back of Georgievski, but he did manage to win a bit of the ball as he came through with Guerrier. But Berisha does well to hold his body in front of the ball and win a free kick to the Victory. Very smart bit of play from Bessart Berisha. They play it quickly. It's back out now with Delpierre. He looks forward. Finkler's starting into the game, and that makes Melbourne Victory look a heck of a lot better when his foot's on the ball with his little sharp touches. It's now with Georgievski on the left-hand side. Plays it forward, but Connor Payne on a different wavelength, and it's snatched away by Sydney FC. Antonis, good touch. Now with Burgess, back to Ryle, and all the way back to Calvin now. German on the left-hand side, should collect and look to switch play. He turns it back inside instead. Not a lot of options ahead here. Dmitrievich is the only one really working for him there. He uses him. Back to German now with Calvary, centre-back pairing on the right-hand side. Seb Ryle. Burgess makes a good run down that right-hand side. Delpierre couldn't get there first and smelts away down the right-hand side. He's got Layer ahead of him. Ball towards the back post. Gary has slipped, has a hit, and it's off the post and missed. And it's a goal kick. But, geez, I tell you what, two mishaps at the back for Melbourne Victory and nearly 2-0 to Sydney FC, Damo.
And both would have come from Yanko. He's looking pretty cutthroat, I've got to say, as it's played through to him. And a very unfortunate slip by Guerrier as Victory look to regroup here. Coe plays it short and receives back from Georgievski. Coe a bit panically, gets it on the boot. It comes out to Burgess. He puts it into the middle. Antonis feeds it out to Carl, and then they go all the way back to German. German plays across. Carver dinks along, down the line. Delpierre chest down, Georgievski on it. 1-2s nicely with Milligan. Dashing down the left he goes, looking for Payne. Cut off from Sydney FC, but Georgievski kept running and didn't look like there was too much in that.
No, I thought that was play on, and the referee will now make them retake the free kick. I just thought Ryle was pretty weak on the ball there, and he did go down very easily. But free kick all the same, and Ryle's taking it short, back to Calver, all the way back to Nichevsky. The captain in goal for Sydney FC. Be happy with his start, not very busy so far. All the way back to the captain. And now on the right-hand side, we've got Calver. Bessart Berisha putting in a good chase, and now that's enough for Berisha. He's just decided, yeah, that's enough running. Wait until we get the ball. On the left-hand side with German. Dmitrievich. Back to German. Bit of a hurried clearance, and Milligan should get on the end of it. Nicky Carl put him under good pressure, but Milligan does well to hold on to it. Now with Georgievski. Left-hand side, Connor Payne has to turn inside on the right foot. He does try and play it forward. Finkler maybe missed that. Should have left it for Thompson. Connor Payne tries to win it back again. It's with Finkler. Chance to shoot at the edge of the box. Turns away instead. He's now got Georgievski on the left-hand side. Plays it forward. Finkler into the box with the ball. Has an early cross, but it's blocked well at the back there from Aaron Calver. But a good bit of play from the Victory as the pass looked to go through. I think Payne passed it through. And I reckon if Finkler had left that one for Archie, Damo, we might have seen his name on the score sheet.
Yeah, maybe. He has a chance to try and drive this one in from a corner, does Finkler. The right-hand side. The broadcast wing. It's a decent corner across the box. Chested down from Gersbach out there, and he's run away with it. But the referee holds play and brings it back. The untoward contact at the back there. And they'll take their short free kick. Comes out to Calver. And back to the keeper, and they go out on the left through German. So FC look quite composed on the ball. In true Tasmanian fashion, it's quite sunny down here now. A minute ago we were only talking about the rain. It's 4 seasons in one day today, that's for sure, as it comes to Ryle, and he plays it back to Carver. Back to Nichevsky, and they just played around Sydney FC, making Victory work. And this one's played direct, looking for Yanko. Unfortunately, he's well offside, and that halts that thrust forward before it really got going. Leia takes the free kick short to Del Pierre.
Yeah, it wasn't far from being onside then, as he just timed his run nearly to perfection, but just broke a little early. It's Connor Payne. Gee, Seb Ryle's done well down the left-hand side. Tell you what, Seb Ryle has had a fair bit of action as well on this side. And with Connor Payne, I think the Victory looked to get him involved as much as possible, but he has looked as solid as ever, Seb Ryle. On the right-hand side, Gary does well to keep a hold of it. He might be able to keep it on the right. He does. He tries to turn back inside. Another slip. I think the Loud Wheels might need to be substituted because they have not done him any favours so far. He spent a lot of time on the deck. Gary on ice. Back inside, Valerio on the ball, tries to play it forward. It's found Guerrier again. It's all the way back out to Leia. A lot of what we've seen so far from Melbourne Victory is this slow build-up play. Plays it forward. Oh, not the best touch from Barissa. He's well out of control. Yanko does well. Old Milligan even better to win it back. Valerio plays it forward. Archie Thompson was onside, but it's cut out well by Gersbach. And Guerrier's foot, timely interception, but it's only going to be a throw-in for Sydney FC. Goes back, takes it quickly, all the way back out to German. Bit of pressure on from Finkler. Not the sharpest turning circle, and he couldn't quite put German on pressure on the way. Thompson joins the club. And then Valeri as well, all getting involved in the pressure, and they will win it back here eventually, you'd think, as the ball goes forwards with Leia. Smelt's trying to be a bit of a nuisance, but Leia, pretty cool, lets it run out for a throw-in and uses his goalkeeper in Co. Last time he was on the ball, took a long time to get rid of it. This time, a bit more rapidly. And it's with Del Pierre. Not sure who to find. He looks for Archie Thompson. That's the first time they've hit that ball to Archie Thompson all the way. He managed to just do enough to control it up against Gersbach, but he had a little slip again. I'm not sure what's going on with the turf on that far side, Damo, but looks like they're having a bit of trouble with it. It's with Valeri. Turns away from his goal. Back out to Leia. And Del Pierre in a heap of space here in the bullseye. Looks another lofted ball. Does well to find Georgievski. Up against Seb Ryle. He tries to play it forward to Connor Payne. Does well. Burgess tracks back though and prevents him from entering the box with Georgievski. Connor Payne needs to work to make sure he's on side. Georgievski plays it back out. Del Pierre in a very advanced position. Plays it laterally across. It's now with Leia. Good build-up play here from Velvet. They're pressing Sydney FC right back on their 18-yard box with Leia. He plays it back out now. Del Pierre across to Valeri. On the right-hand side, Guerrier. Now in a good crossing opportunity. He's got a bit of space up against Nicky Carl. Turns inside instead. It's back out to Valeri. He has to go back out to Milligan. Then looking to hold onto the ball. Yanko goes through the back of him, and it should be a free kick. They build up play for a lot as Milligan goes down holding the back of his leg. I think he'll be okay. But a good bit of play from the Victory. That's the furthest they've been to push Sydney FC back. Milligan looks to be in a little bit of trouble on the knee. I'm not sure if it's the back of the knee from the landing or the tackle, but hopefully he'll be right to continue.
Favourite tweet thus far, Corndog, just looking over what's gone down. One of our usual co-commentators, Callum Pash, Yanko taking cues from Eminem. One chance, one opportunity. Hashtag seized it. Love your work, Pashke. A lovely tweet there. As Victory played around. Leia out to Guerrier. And back to Leia. Through it goes. Picks out Valeri nicely. Takes his time on it and then puts it out in front of Thompson. Thompson inside the box now. He's bundled over. Is that a foul? No, says the referee, and it's out for a throw-in. But a few nervy moments at the back there for Sydney FC.
Yeah, for mine, I think he just expected the contact a bit too much. The hands are up when they didn't need to be, and just appealing for it maybe a little too hard there from Archie Thompson. He was in a great position. Looked to maybe put a little bit more body on and keep the ball himself, and might have provided a better opportunity for his team, but it's no avail. It's with Sydney FC. Should be Gers back to take. Looks to go long down the line. The big Yanko's... Oh, sorry, it's Smelt. No, it was Yanko. Not a bad target to try and hit. He's shown that he's got a bit of class on the floor as well. Damo, he's certainly not just a one-dimensional threat.
He's a good option in terms of tall timber, but also we've seen he's got pretty slick feet for a big boy.
So, thrown to Sydney FC again. A little overhead there from Yanko, who's done enough to draw a foul. Good result for Sydney FC as they looked like they were going to turn it over. And it should be a bit more of an advanced position here for Sydney FC. They don't look to push a lot of numbers forward, and it has gone backwards instead to Dimitrijevic. Back on the right-hand side now with Calver. A good switch of play against the wind. The ball doesn't zip across the floor quite as much when they're playing this way. It's with Ryan, a great position. Georgievski tracking back hard. He has to cut it back. It's with Smeltz. Hits it early first time. Co's in a good spot. And he saves it his near post. Bit of a poacher's effort there from Sydney FC. We know Shane Smeltz loves a goal. As the ball goes through, it's a bit hasty though, and it's gone all the way through to the Sydney FC goalkeeper in Nachevsky. Back out now. It's with Antonis as Finkler goes through the back of him. And it's a foul to Sydney FC, and Antonis now stays down. It's his turn to take his time to get to his feet. It's back out now with German. Back to Nachevsky. And forward. Sydney FC can't quite keep it in there though. Through Gersbach. Guerrier on the ball now, throws it in with Valeri. Now he plays it all the way back out to Leia. They do well to keep the ball. Now Georgievski. Plays it inside. It's with Delpierre. Not a lot of movement ahead of him. You have to just flick it back across the back four. It's with Leia. Now Guerrier. Nicky Carl approached him. Tries to put a bit of pressure on, but it's with Barisha. Well done to try and find Archie Thompson. The clearance from German goes into Archie Thompson. Then it's Valeri who wins the header. Guerrier can't beat the Sydney FC player in the air. It's with Antonis. Looks to go through a couple and does well enough to find Yanko, who manages to keep hold of the ball. Back inside now. Well, Calver, nice little touch around Connor Payne. And now finds Yanko in a wide area. Probably not where Sydney FC want to find him, but it plays it forward now. Nicky Carl on the ball. Oh, good bit of play. Back to Yanko. Now Nicky Carl. Should be away. It's Yanko or Nicky Carl. Take your pick. He plays it back inside. It's a bit behind Burgess. On the right-hand side, he's got Ryle offering an option. Antonis tries to find him now. Smelters inside. He has to go all the way back now. And just a little pass from Yanko. If it was just a little bit further forward ahead of Burgess, they really could have been away there as the ball's curled nicely around the referee and Archie Thompson by Dimitrijevic. On the left-hand side, Gersbach takes on Guerrier. Good bit of play. Tries to get a little bit of a deflected cross in there. I think it might have been a bit of tricky skills as well. Nicky Carl plays it backwards. Sydney FC holding the ball right back to halfway now. Halfway with Calver. Finds Ryle. Back inside, Burgess has looked pretty sharp on the ball so far. Hasn't lost it much. Now he Smeltz all the way back to Calver again. Now plays it laterally. Barisha trying to pressure German. Plays it forward. Sydney FC keeping the ball well. Burgess now in a bit of space as Valeri couldn't quite keep a hold of him there. He plays it forward. Smeltz getting a little bit of treatment there from Delpierre, but it's play on from the referee. It's with Antonis. Skips past one. Gives it to another. It's with Burgess again. He can't quite prevent Milligan from swiping that one away. It might be another Sydney throw here as Payne gets in a little bit late. Just after Ryle got a touch, and it's going to be a throw to Sydney in a good advanced area. Back to Burgess, all but well done by Milligan. Clears the danger well with a timely clearance. It's just as Melbourne Victory look to really be on their heels, pushed up back against their 18-yard box. Now Dimitrijevic. Got a couple of Victory players around him, but managed to find a way out. Nachevsky on the ball. A couple of messy touches, but managed to get it out instead. It's now with Calver. Plays it forward. Burgess on the ball. Flicks it back out. No rush here from Sydney FC. They've started well. Been the better team so far. They're 1-0 up. Haven't had a lot of pressure on Victory in terms of constant territory, but they've certainly looked more damaging when going forward. And the Victory back four probably seems to me to be the weakness so far, Damo. Just not really the sharpest part of the team.
Delpierre drives him forward. It's a good-looking ball. Comes back from Thompson to Barisha. He's at the edge of the box now, Barisha. Oh, he just has it taken from him as it looked like he was steeing to shoot. They look to burst down the other end, Sydney FC, but it's sharked off Burgess by Georgievski, and he almost looks to drive Melbourne Victory into the box on another counter. But Sydney FC take it, and Georgievski works hard to get back and deny, and he's shown a slice of cheese, a yellow card for Georgievski that's been involved in the thick of things on the left side. So he enters the book and the ball back with Sydney FC.
Great interception there from German at the back there for Sydney FC. He looked like that was going to find Archie Thompson to pass through, but he slid across and got rid of the danger. Good bit of defending. Now with Nichevsky at the back for Sydney FC. German looks to take a couple on, and just the central defender just maybe out of his proper talent there. Maybe he should be pushed further up the field. The ball not quite kept in from Sydney there, and it's going to be a victory throw. Oh no, it's going to be a Sydney FC throw. Must have been deflected. Bit of confusion reigning on the far side there. I'm not sure anyone really understands what's going on, but it is going to be a Sydney throw. And he plays it inside well. Finds Antonis in all sorts of space. Early ball out to Ryle, and I think the wind's held that one nicely onto this near side. Plays it forward. Burgess cops a bit of treatment from Del Pierre, and it's going to be Del Pierre with the bigger body who gets there first, but it should still be a corner, and it is, as that was a bit of a man versus boy attempt there from Sydney FC, but they still managed to get the desired result, and we'll see if they can trouble the tall timber at the back for Melbourne Victory. It looks like they'll push German forward. That'll be Gersbach with the left foot, you think, swinging in towards the near post, who's going to be the man to trying to get the good delivery. The lighter frame of Burgess, even though he's played well so far, certainly isn't going to be much help in a corner. He goes out the back as the ball comes into the near post. A good area, headed out well by the Victory. Well done by Antonis to win the header. He wanted a free kick as he dived across. Barisha plays it forward. Archie Thompson does well to hold on to the ball. He's up against Dimitrijevic, who does well to track across all the way. And now with Milligan on the right-hand side, the Victory are away. It's with Finkler. He's got Guerrier sending around the outside. Payne a little bit inside. Does use Payne now. Tries to find Guerrier. Got a chance to cross instead. He looks inside. Finds Connor Payne. Has a hit. And it's blocked. It falls to Finkler. And it's saved by Nichevsky. As it looked like an opportunistic effort there from Finkler might trouble Sydney FC. Good bit of running from Guerrier and Connor Payne. Linked up with Finkler. But it could no avail in the end as Nichevsky saw the shot come straight at him without stinging the gloves at all, really. It's now with Gersbach, plays it inside. Dimitrijevic on the ball, running straight through the heart of the Victory midfield. I'm not sure Kevin Musk will be too pleased about that. It's with Burgess up against Del Pierre again. They seem to be finding each other's sides quite a bit. Now with Guerrier, plays it all the way back out to Leia, who should use his goalkeeper in co, and does. Managed to get there before Yanko can really pressure him. The ball goes forward. It's one back, Anton. That's a shocking challenge from Barisha. Jeez, that was a pretty awful challenge there, Damo. I reckon friendly's probably a good thing. Didn't look like there was a lot of intent other than the man there from mine.
There wasn't too much friendly about that.
No.
He's come in quite late as Barisha, and there's some tempers flaring out in the field with Nick Carl and Barisha having a bit to say to each other, but Bessart Barisha enters the book. And that's what we've come to expect from Barisha. He produces the goods in terms of in front of goal. He's a pure finisher, but he's a bit of a firecracker too.
Probably the A-League's definition of the good, bad, and everything in between. He can bring you absolutely anything on the day. I think that's why, no matter how much you, I'm sure opposition fans tend to take a bit of a disliking to him. Everyone likes to watch him play, whether they enjoy him doing poorly or doing well. Everyone enjoys seeing Barisha out in the field and being a bit of a raffle at times, you'd have to say. As the ball goes forward from German, the radar was a bit off on that one. It's going to be a throw-in to the Victory. Inside, Valeri. Guerrier again. Does keep it in. And now sends it out to Leia. We're nearing half-time here at North Hobart Oval. The rain's gone. The sun's well and truly out now. The wind has remained. As Jozeski plays it forward, Finkler can't get a good foot on it. It's with Burgess. Milligan over to cover, and Burgess does well. Should win a throw, and does. Ryle to take, sends it all the way back to Calver, who's been very busy at the back for Sydney FC in terms of possessing the ball. Hasn't really been troubled with the Melbourne Victory players running at him, though. Dimitrijevic plays it out with German. Looks it back inside. Enjoying showing off his dribbling skills today. He's German. But his pass there is not good enough. Archie Thompson does well. Use a bit of body on Barisha as well. Goes forward. Archie Thompson looked to get on the end of that one, but the pass was deflected. Out to Burgess on the right. Who plays it back to Calver. Now with Dimitrijevic. Does well to hold the ball. Plenty of options on the left-hand side. He finds Antonis, who's dropped very deep for Sydney FC. And on the right-hand side, it's with Seb Ryle. He looks to go backwards. Calver's not got a lot of space, but he does well to turn quickly and flick it out back to his goalkeeper, Nichevsky. Now German on the ball for Sydney FC. Now Dimitrijevic. And they've beaten the first line of defence for the Victory, and they look to rapidly take it away. Skeria couldn't get back in time. It's Nicky Carl in a good area on the left-hand side. He looked to use his left foot, his trusty left. Turns it back. It's back with Gers back instead. Nicky Carl still providing an option. Still with Nicky Carl now. Back inside. Burgess does well. Nicky Carl should have got to get on the end of it. Plays it back out. It's still with Sydney FC. They're in a good position here. It's with Antonis. Takes a touch. Moves forward. Back to Burgess. Now on the left-hand side. A good bit of play. Dimitrijevic fine. Gers back. He's up against Garia, who hasn't looked at that sound defensively, and then once again, it's skipped by him, but he's done well, managed to get a last-stick tackle on the Sydney FC player, back out off the Sydney FC player, and for a goal kick. So it'll be 1 minute of added time in the first half here at North Hobart, as Smelts comes in hard and concedes a throw-in, and Victory will be taking that one well into their own defensive half. Plays it back out with Del Pierre. They'll look to just try and escape this one, probably at 1-0 you'd think here, Victory. It's with Coe on the right-hand side now. Looks to move it forward. It's with Leia and Geria. Trying to make a bit of a last-ditch assault maybe. It's with Leia. Back inside, Del Pierre. Plenty of width's been shown here from the Melbourne Victory wingers, but the passes to them have very rarely hit the target, unfortunately. It's with Ryle. Turns back inside. It's with Burgess. Flicks it all the way back out to German. Now it goes back on the left-hand side.
So not too much longer in this, the first half of Melbourne Victory versus Sydney FC in Tasmania down at North Hobart Oval. So far, Sydney FC, they've definitely had the lion's share of possession, and they've made the most of it. Yanko striking for them in the 21st minute. Ryle looks to get him down the right. Yanko involved in this one. It's into midfield, and it's a tussle between the two teams. And Payne looks to get involved as it's spread out through Antonis. And they're out on the left-hand side now, Sydney FC. They look to bolt it forward. It's held up a little bit for Carl. He collides with Finkler, comes out on top, 1-2s. Carl dings it over the top to Yanko. He tries to beat Coe from close range, and he blocks it, but all in vain as the linesman has his flag raised for this one. Yanko being a bit cheeky, staying close to Coe as Victory get out in the end as Del Pierre plays it wide to Georgievski. And back to Del Pierre. Plays well wide. Nice ball, picks out Payne. The wind definitely not his ally out there, and it comes to Geria. And the referee, Sean Evans, draws a close to the first half of proceedings here between two of the A-League's most fiercest rivals in Hobart. It's Melbourne Victory 0, Sydney FC 1. The goal coming in the 21st minute through new star signing, the Austrian captain, Mark Yanko. There we are, over the loudspeaker here. This afternoon's official attendance, 6,520. So a decent crowd, corn dog down here to see what is a very big fixture. Probably a little bit less than what we were hoping for with the gravity of the contest that we're seeing in Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory, two of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, certainly I think the weather's played a little part in that. The ones who just decide to rock up on the day without pre-purchasing look outside, and it's expected 28 degrees, and it's meant to be quite a nice day. Certainly doesn't reach those heights. Been a reasonable day temperature, but the wind has certainly played a bit of havoc, and not the most pleasant for viewers. Still, they've rolled through the gates, plenty in the stands, so all seem to enjoy themselves. Made a bit of noise, and not that we've had too much to yell about so far, especially for a Melbourne Victory biased crowd, you'd have to say. A lot more people going for the home away from home team. And the wet area not as full as we'd ever like to see. Always like to see that brimming. But certainly enough people to make it a pretty good atmosphere.
Yeah, a few have come out and support this game, but hopefully it's enough for a few more games of this nature down here in Hobart. We'll take a break now in proceedings from North Hobart Oval and be back with the second half. So we're back for the second half here at North Hobart Oval between Melbourne Victory and Sydney FC. So far, Sydney FC are in the driver's seat. They lead 1-0 through a goal in the 21st minute from Yanko. Melbourne Victory have it all to do in the second half, and it looks like they're going to make a couple of changes. So we have Broxham on for Milligan. That's the first change, and it looks like there's going to be a series, so we'll wait and see what they are. But Corn Dog, Sydney FC definitely dominated that first half. Victory have to turn around quite a few things if they're going to get back into this contest.
Yeah, absolutely. Sydney deserve leaders so far. Having said that, the biggest thing that I've taken out of the game so far is it's been pretty willing. And we're 2 weeks out from the start of the A-League season, and I'm just not sure how pleased both the coach would be with how hard some of the players have gone here. So we've got a triple substitution for the Victory. And I believe it'll be Archie Thompson, Mark Milligan, and Connor Payne who have come off, and it'll be Costa Barbarouses, Lee Broxham, and Ben Carlfalla. What do we reckon, Damo? Have I got that right? Carlfalla?
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going
Carlfalla.
to give it to you.
Yep. So that's the three changes as we Melbourne Victory get us underway here. As Barisha will look to add to his pre-season account. Hasn't really had many chances so far today. On the right-hand side, we're with Guerrier, who's in a lot of the action, good and bad, in the first half. Back out to Lay. We'll see how the back four can hold themselves together, because it certainly wasn't the strength of the Victory in the first half. On the left-hand side, it's with the Victory, but it's cut out by Sydney FC. Yanko does well to hold it up. His pass doesn't quite hit the target. It's with Cavalieri. On the right-hand side now, finds its way to Guerrier. He'll look to start an assault. His ball is completely misguided, and Bessart Barisha is filthy with him. We're a minute in to the... He hasn't stopped screaming yet. Bit stiff, I reckon. Let it go, big fella. So it's a goal kick. It wasn't the best pass. All the same. It's with Nachevsky for Sydney FC. So it looks to me like Costa Barbarouses will find himself on the right-hand side as a free kick goes to Sydney FC. I think Bennett Carlfalla will be on the left-hand side. And, of course, Lee Broxham finds himself pretty much a direct swap for Mark Milligan, stationed at basically the pivot role in the midfield. He'll look to dictate terms there. And Mark Milligan had to say was probably one of the better performers for the Victory in the first half. So Broxham certainly needs to, at least, at worst, maintain his level. It's now with Calver. Obviously, a bit of a different change. The first 5 minutes will be interesting as the fullbacks adjust. Obviously, the ones on the who were playing on the right-hand side for Sydney FC will be seeing a lot more of the ball this time, as the wind's going to push the ball down towards them, as the clearance from the Victory from Adrian Lay isn't quite cleared properly. It's with Dimitrijevic. Now Terry Antonis also had a good first half. Leia cuts out well, though. Barbarouses finds Valeri, does a couple of pirouettes inside. Dimitrijevic is in the way, though. We've got Burgess trying to find him as well. It's with Valeri on the ball. Comes back out. Carlfalla's got the ball on the left-hand side. Does well to find a pass. But the next pass back inside isn't quite good enough. It's a bit of pressure on from Melbourne Victory as Sydney FC look to play it out, but they've managed to do so eventually. Navigated their way to the left flank. It's with Gersbach on the left-hand side. Does well. Tries to beat his player. He did run straight into him there, but I think Adrian Lay knew where he was positioning himself, and it's going to be a free kick for Sydney FC. Don't believe we'll find any further punishment for that one. Not the most malicious foul I've ever seen, Damo.
Not malicious, but definitely took the wind out of Layer's sails. He's managed to get back to his feet, and he looks all right now, though. The Sydney FC have a set piece from long range. Look to swing it in. No, they go down the line to Carl. He's pressured hard by Barisha. Barisha right up on him. Watching him closely. Barbarouses comes into support and gets a little touch on it and sees it out for a corner. So Sydney FC to bring this one in.
I can't imagine Barisha got told to calm down at half-time with the way he's come out. He's certainly on the edge of his seat, and he's hopefully we see in a good way him explode and maybe score a 5-minute hat-trick or something.
Dimitrijevic plays it out to the back. It's a header from...
Yanko.
Not too sure exactly who that might have been, German or Yanko rising high at the back. But it falls safely. And Victory will bring it back in through Coe. I think that's what you get with Besart Barisha, Corn Dog. I think it's one of those things. He plays on the edge, and you take the good and the bad because the good is just so damn good. So it's played down the line from Leia to Guerrier, and it's a throw in as Carl bustles in into Broxham. He's doing the captain's armband since coming on, and Milligan going off. Along to Del Pierre, spreads it further and out to someone who was a bit of a firecracker in the first half. That is Georgievski. Back to Del Pierre, and then Leia strolls down the right-hand side at North Hobart Oval. Guerrier looks to just work his way around Carl, but Carl gets a decisive boot on it and sees it out of play. Guerrier, back to Leia. They'll regroup. Melbourne Victory looking a little bit better, a little bit more possession already in this half. Sydney FC definitely had the lion's share in the first half, but it looks like Melbourne Victory have come out a bit re-energised in the second half as they fire towards the Horry Gorringe end. Guerrier slides in, gets along to Barisha. What can he do here? Besart Barisha. He takes a little bit of contact. And it's a yellow card, a slice of cheese for Nicky Carl. He just clipped the heels of Barisha, and Barisha went down. He looked like he was going to burst towards goal and really threaten, but he's caught early in that one, and it will now be Finkler's opportunity to try and peg one back for Melbourne Victory.
Yeah, it'll be the outswinger with the right foot. You think the Del Pierre and Cole at the back post will be looking at themselves pretty busy here as Barisha. It's good when we see him get in the game because that's the sort of stuff that happens. Something will be created. And he created the foul, and this one's for Finkler to swing into a good ball in the back, or towards the back post there. And I believe it was Del Pierre who nearly got on the end of it, but couldn't quite stretch those probably 7 metre long legs out and pop that one home. The free kick, just a bit too much pace on, not quite enough whip. So will be a goal kick with Nichevsky for Sydney FC.
They look to bring it back in. As the sun gets a little bit brighter here at North Hobart Oval. It goes out. A few collide in effort to get to the ball. I think it was Georgievski who went right into the back of it was Yanko there, and they both ended up on the deck. And it's a free kick for Sydney FC. Ryle takes it, goes back to his defence. A long thrust forward looking for Smeltz, who wins in the air, but he's offside, so it's a free kick for Victory, taken quickly to Broxham, received back to Del Pierre. Now to Valeri. A few Victory players probably below their usual standard in the first half, not a huge influence. And Valeri was one of those, so he'll be looking for a big second half as it's pumped forward. Off the Sydney FC defender's head, it comes out to Broxham. 1-2s with Valeri. Now Valeri's got Antonis to deal with there, but handles Antonis, and it'll be a free kick for Sydney FC right in the bullseye, right on the edge. Go back, German on the ball. Plays it along to Dimitrovic. It's cut off by Guerrier, and then to Costa Barbarousis, the sub, the Kiwi. Darts down the right. What can he do here, Barbarousis? It's just nipped off him and gets to Carl. Almost to Dimitrovic. He's on it now. Plays it along looking for Carl. Good slide from Guerrier, wins it back for Victory. He goes again, sliding again. Guerrier trying to win this for Victory down the right-hand side, but a lovely bit of work from Sydney FC. Gersbach did very, very well. It's out on the far side now for Victory through Georgievski. He gets it to the enigmatic Barisha. 1-2s with Guerrier. Dishes into Guerrier, and he's collected. It should be a free kick here for Melbourne Victory from ominous range. This is definitely into the Fink. I reckon he could do something special from here.
Yeah, I think this is the Fink zone. You've seen him do it before at probably even more crucial times than this. So for mine, this is just a walk in the park, isn't it? Just pop a top left and we'll go home and we'll all be happy. No? What do you reckon?
he'll slot this. Cool, calm, collected.
If he does score, I'll take the reins for this because you'll hear Gilly yelling if he does score. He'll be pretty excited. Right, Broxham over the ball. I rate Broxham about a 0.01% chance to take this free kick. Do you reckon that's fair? No, 0.02 as he walks away now. It will be Finkler on the free kick. Another measured approach. Swipes toward the left-hand side, but I don't think Nichevsky had to move at all.
Yeah, look, not his best. It was hit quite nicely, but just picked him out.
Not sure if we're warming him up again for the second half, Nichevsky, or that was a genuine attempt, but the kick's gone long and strong to absolutely no one on the far side, and it's a throw-in for the victory.
Throw-in comes back. Del Pierre with it. Spreads it along to Leia, and then out to Guerrier. Guerrier looks inside. Finds Finkler, and he's bustled over by Calvo, and they get it moving quickly to victory, but it's pretty tame effort, you've got to say. Well wide of goal and out of play. Couldn't quite thread it through to anyone in the front third, so Sydney FC have it without being really threatened there, and it'll be a goal kick in the 55th minute.
The thing I've noticed so far in the second half is Finkler's become more part of the game, is just how well connected. Obviously, they're all pretty well coordinated fellas out there, but the way you can see what's going on in his head, and his feet are just doing it as he thinks it, and it's just always pretty much spot on. It's a delight to watch. He's just poetry in motion almost. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, but I've been pretty impressed so far as the ball comes in, and that's horrendous. It's found Nicky Carl, and I'm not sure that was anywhere near the intended target. The ball, oh, jeez. Gersbach's come in hard there. I think he got the original foul. I'm not sure it would have been quite the same scenario had the original foul not been paid. He went in mighty hard for the second challenge. But it is going to be a free kick to Sydney FC. Out to German. Finds Calver, then it's back to German on the left-hand side. We've got Gersbach back on the ball. Right in front of us in the commentary box. Good touch inside. Sydney FC looking to keep the ball. Nicky Carl can't quite keep a hold of it because Gary has impeded him. And it's going to be a free kick as he shielded his body, the ball with his body very well. The ball's gone back inside. Terry Antans with the outside of the right foot. Keen to get on the end of it here on the right-hand side. We've done well. Seb Ryle, chance to cross, gets a deflector cross in. It should be Cohen, it is. Collects comfortably at the near post. He rolls it out. Valeri in a little bit of pressure. Yanko just yanks him back. It's no foul paid. Broxham does well to clean it up. It's back with Cohen now on the right-hand side. Leia's got a lot of time thanks to Valeri and Broxham sorting that bit of a hassle out in the midfielders with Guerrier. Plays it back inside. Leia on the ball. Expect to see a few changes from Sydney FC soon, Gilly?
Probably not at the moment. I reckon they'll bide their time a little bit. It's all going okay as it's pumped down the left-hand side. And the corner flag beats everyone to it, but it was Ben Kalfala who was racing hard after the ball, Corn Dog. Almost got there, but the corner flag just beat him to it, and I think he collected a bit of it. Ben Kalfala. It's a real test, I'm going to say, as a name, but I reckon we've done okay as the ball comes back in the other direction through a very ordinary Sydney FC throw-in. Be Melbourne victory now to bring it in. Georgievski back to Del Pierre. And then Leia right in the bullseye. Bobbles off his boot. Gets along to Guerrier. Looks inside of Carl. Carl wise to him. Takes it. Steals, goes back to his defence. German on the ball. Gets it by Barbarousis and finds Gersbach in the end, but Sydney FC lose it. It's out for a throw-in. Guerrier back to the defence of Leia, who will easily find Del Pierre. And back to Leia. So they played around. They're looking a little bit more composed in possession. Corndog, Sydney FC seem to be the ones doing the chasing. I wonder where the conditions are playing a factor in this, because it's looking pretty similar to the way Sydney FC were playing out from the back. I wonder whether the wind's favouring one side or the other as it's pumped down the left-hand side looking for Georgievski, who's bombed on nicely, but unfortunately bounces out of his head and out for a Sydney FC goal kick.
Yeah, he did everything right, Georgievski. He was in a great spot to get on the end of that one, and then the cushion header wasn't quite cushioned enough. Went for the firm pillow on the bed instead of the soft and cuddly, and it's going to be a goal kick. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the Sydney FC have certainly looked more compact as a team in defence. Their midfields hold together. I think Dimitrijevic had a very good game. He's just held that midfield of Sydney FC when, obviously, Victory's got some quality players and they've been on the ball. They haven't really troubled them quite as much as you'd expect as they go forward. It's going to be a free kick to Sydney FC. I think Yanko's been brought down by Del Pierre, the big lad. Dealt with him quite harshly, to be honest. It's going to be a free kick, no further punishment, all the way back to the goalkeeper, Nachevsky. Then with Calver on the right-hand side. It's gone away. Through in the midfield now, Sydney FC, Nicky Carl. Good chance to build a bit of play here on the right-hand side. Oh, acrobatic attempt there from Georgievski. It's good, bit of entertainment for us, that's for sure, and looked like offside on the far side, and it will be blown now for offside against the Melbourne Victory.
So decent crowd in here at North Hobart Oval to witness this one, and Sydney so far that have the upper hand. The goal coming in the 21st minute through Austrian superstar Mark Yanko. He's looked pretty sharp when he's had the ball up his end. It hasn't come up there too much in this half though, Corndog.
No, he hasn't really got involved with the play at all, and I was thinking before, obviously seems to be a pretty handy inclusion, and Shane Smelt's not someone you really look towards just starting on the bench every week, but with Broskin Abeni to come back into this team, that's a pretty mean attacking force there. Interesting to see how they build that one as the season goes on. Also, you've got Gamero, I believe. Does he play an attacking role as well? I believe so.
Yeah. So they got Gamero to come back in as Guerrier looks to send Victory in. It comes out to Barbarouses. He puts across the box. They deal with it, Sydney FC, but they're still not out of danger here as Guerrier's pressuring hard. He's actually done pretty well there, Guerrier, just to pressure them, but in the end, Sydney FC see it at bay, and it was a nice bit of work there from Dimitrijevic. Just was a strong pressure coming from Guerrier, but had the piece of the composure just to play it back and saw it out off the Victory boot. So Sydney FC to bring it back in through their keeper, Nachevsky. Played long, over halfway. Look, it's Valeri who's almost on it, but he's bustled out of it. Del Pierre on the ball. He's pressured hard by Yanko. Back to Coe he goes. Coe plays it out to Guerrier. Just streams past his boot and out for a throw-in. Carl looks to get it moving. Throws inside. Receives back. Carl, he flicks it back with a little cheeky back heel, but no foul. It comes to Barbarouses. He looks to play ahead, looking to find Ben Kalfala. Doesn't quite happen for him. Barisha will throw back in for Victory. They're still still chasing this equaliser.
Yeah, they're certainly pushing on. They've had the best of the second half so far. Shane Smeltz and Yankov certainly they've hardly been involved, particularly in this stanza. But Shane Smeltz really hasn't had his most energetic and busy game. As the ball's back with Sydney FC now, as they've intercepted it in the midfield. Nicky Carl does well to hold off a few lead blocks with one of them. Then Guerrier, but he won't be able to keep that in on the near side. And it's going to dribble out for a throw-in to Melbourne Victory. We Guerrier to get us back underway. And it's with Leia at the heart of the defence for Melbourne Victory. Now Del Pierre. Another timely intervention in the last foray forward from Melbourne Victory from Germany. He's had a pretty solid game in positionally speaking, Damo. He's kept himself busy, and two very violent interceptions. The ball goes forward now. Barbarouses got a chance to get one in. Barisha in a good spot. It's a big touch from Barbarouses. Has a hit. It's come to Barisha. Should score. Oh, it's saved well. Nachevsky in a great spot. Made himself big. It's fallen back out to Melbourne Victory now on the left-hand side. Back into Valeri. Tries to get a little lofted through ball, and the header goes over the top, and Nachevsky looked almost in a bit of trouble for a second. is the ball just kept going and going and going. He managed to scramble back to his line, but a great save from Nechevsky in the first place, who then just kicks it about 20 metres out in the full. But I tell you what, it fell to Berisha in a great spot. And with the man of Berisha's reputation, you're thinking he's going to put that away.
I thought that was 1-1 there, Corndog. I must admit, fell to Berisha. You just think, job done. Because he's usually so cutthroat. In the final third, if you give him a chance, he usually takes it, as Gary does well. Gets down round Carl. Receives back from Barbarouses. He's onside. Gary had to cut it back, looking for Berisha. It just ricochets off German and almost causes Nechevsky a little bit of trouble, but he's down to it well and throws out. The Sydney FC will look to regroup. Comes to Broxham in the middle. He cuts off the Sydney FC attack off the back heel of Valeri. They steal it well. Good bit of work. Oh, Finkler. Dmitrievich, a good bit of work in midfield to get out on the far side, and then Finkler's just collected him.
So you go to the ground, and that's about all he really had. All the saying had, had to participate in Finkler's little actions. It's just dealt with him.
Just said, take a seat. The Fink show's about to come. We'll wait and see. As it comes off Smelt's head, it's Yanko here, or he's inside the box, but Georgievski sharks it off him and sees it out for a corner. I thought Yanko there, it might be another potent little strike. He's looked dangerous every time he gets around goal, Corndog.
Yeah, looked a little like he might have controlled it with the hand to start with, but the referee called play on, and the chance was well cut out there by Georgievski. And now we've got on the far side, it goes back to take for Sydney FC. Swing it in on the left foot. It's not the best corner, but Berisha can only deal with it for another corner. And he'll get a second chance and hopefully a bit of better delivery from a Sydney FC point of view. We're going to find another ball was scattering everywhere with the wind and the big gap between field and fence here at North Hobart Oval. Goes back to swinging. A bit of movement in the middle from Sydney FC. So over the back, and it's gone way too far. And out on the far side for a goal kick. So 2 wasted corners in a row there. Fortunate to get a second chance and didn't do anything with it at all. Sydney FC were pretty disappointed with that. Graham Arnold, not a happy man, I don't believe. As it played forward now, it's with Melbourne Victory. Kalfal tries to take on his fullback. Can't quite do it though. And Sydney FC managed to keep it in. Skip it down the line. A bit of pressure on Burgess. Just look sharp. But he couldn't quite get on into that as Del Pierre looked to have him covered for pace. And it's going to be a throw in.
An update from those interested. 67th minute in the NPL finals. South Melbourne 1, Metro Stars 2. So a bit of an upset brewing. As it comes back to Coe. Goes out to left to Georgievski. And it comes to Valeri. He gets it moving. Unfortunately, he's misguided that pass. And it falls safely wide of Kalfalal. Throw in now for Sydney FC. It goes back to Carver. He looks to feed down the line. Kalfalal steals. Looks to play into Valeri there, but it's come off Valeri's boot and out for a throw-in.
We need a buzz. We need something to spark this game here, Damo. Victory have had a couple of chances and spurned them as they entered the box. They really need to test Nechevsky out with a bit of a... Obviously, he made a great save with Berisha, but I don't think other than those 2 chances that they're... Since that time, it's just dulled down again, and they need to keep constant pressure on because, for mine, Sydney FC's midfield has bossed this game. While in the second half, Victory have had a fair bit of dominance, it doesn't really been the midfield that they've been carving up with those couple of chances. All been out wide, and the midfield will create some good chances, you'd think. It's with Broxham in the middle now. Barbarouses. Good opportunity for the Victory, but it's intercepted well by Sydney FC. Out on the left-hand side, we've got Gersbach. Plays it forward, the loud wheels. We'll see a lot of the loud fluoro wheels on the show today. It's with Smelts. Tricky bit of skill there, but Guerrier and Leia tends to be greater than one man. On the far side, Barbarouses looked to be able to play Carl in there. A good interception from Carver. It's cut out for a throw into Melbourne Victory. It's with the Fink. He touches it around Smelts nicely. Still got the ball to Fink. Finkler on the ball, well done. Gets it past Carl. Berisha now in a good area, but well read by Burgess. But Berisha somehow kept hold of it. His pass, unfortunately, couldn't find a target. The clearance goes straight to Carl, and Melbourne Victory will look to restart another attack as soon as they can here with Leia on the right-hand side. Plays it out to Geria. Got it all ahead of him. It's Carlfella for Melbourne Victory. Knocks it inside. Geria takes on German. Does well. Gets the ball inside, but unfortunately it's hit the feet of Burgess. Great effort from Geria, getting into good areas. Good pressure from German as well. As Georgievski tries to knock it round a player, couldn't get back to it, and then Seb Ryle, who clears it long. It's 1-on-1 up forward. Smeltz does well to control, up against Leia. Well, it's a good tussle. Smeltz couldn't quite get hold of it as the second defender came across Delpierre. Made it a bit too hard. It's back with Sydney FC on the left-hand side. We've got Gersbach storming down the left-hand side. Plenty of room to move. Plays it inside. Nicky Carl couldn't quite keep it, and it's Geria who's dealt with in the end. It's going to be a corner ball to Sydney FC. Couldn't quite get on the end of it, either of the players. And it's come off Geria last. So, better delivery this time, you'd imagine, for Sydney FC.
So, dangerous attacking opportunity here for Sydney FC. Melbourne Victory at the home away from home. Wouldn't want to fall too behind. It's been a pretty happy hunting ground down here for Melbourne Victory. They'll want to add another win to the tally as it comes into a crowded box. It's just fisted away by Coe in the end. Layer almost deals with it, but they're back through. And it's Dimitrovic who puts a ball into the box. It Smelts on it now. He spins from the byline, tries to play it through. Layer chest down. Dimitrovic still on it. Puts it a high ball into the box at the edge. It's a very, very dangerous blow from the far side of the box, and it fizzes over the bar. Do we know exactly who that was?
Antonis, I believe.
We think it was Antonis. My view was obstructed for a moment on that one, but Antonis on the far side, he just met it with a bit of gusto and it fizzed over the bar. So Sydney FC very close to adding another one to the tally, but Melbourne Victory escape, and they're out now for Kalfala. He's bursting down the right side. Plays the ball into the box looking for Barisha, but Nichevsky, wise to it, out of his line, collects comfortably.
The change has been made. Carlfiller out to the right-hand side. And for mine, it's reaped instant rewards. He's looked dangerous up against Gersbach here, slightly less experienced fullback than Seb Ryle on the far side. And he's been able to use his pure pace a bit more. Good delivery from the midfield as well has obviously helped that as German flicks it outside with Gersbach now. And his pass is not, I'm assuming, not what he intended. And someone's just giving him a laugh out loud. And I think it's a bit stiff because they're out there playing for an A-League club and someone's standing in the stands. Not quite got a lot of right to give him anything for that. But it's back with Victory now. Play it forward. It's cut out well by Seb Ryle with the chest. Plays it inside. Dimitrievich been solid all game so far. Flicks it out wide on the left. It's going to be a good clash here as Geria gets there first. Then it's touched by Gersbach. I'm not sure it was a foul, to be honest. They both collected the ball and both clashed with each other. Geria got there first, so maybe that's what he's rewarded with instead. It would have been a throw-in for him. It's going to be a free kick instead. A bit of treatment maybe for Gersbach, who's been pretty solid, been busy. But looks to be more or less okay.
It's like thought Victory might be looking to make a change for a second, but with goalkeeping coach Steve Mortone over at the bench, but it might be Sydney FC that make the change with this slight injury concern to Gersbach. Went in hard, didn't he? It was a pretty fair contest watching the replay. I think he just got that little bit later than Geria, but I think both players had eyes on the prize.
Yeah, it's good collision, and both players have certainly given it all or nothing today. They've been very hard at it and maybe fighting for their spot a little bit. Probably not the biggest locks to play week in, week out, and in terms of some of the bigger names in both their teams. As the ball goes forwards with Geria, who's had a pretty good game on the right-hand side. Tries to get it past Nicky Carl, but he does well to control it. Geria does unbelievably to get it back. Chance to the right now. Plays in Kalfala. Gets an early ball towards the back post. And cut back inside with Barisha now. Back to goal. Plays it back out. Has a hit early. It's deflected. And it's gone out for a corner. I believe that was Cavalieri on the edge of the box as it fell to him. And it looked like he might be able to smash that one home. Great bit of defence there from Sydney FC. Desperate as maybe the pass back to him didn't quite have enough fizz on it, Gilly.
Not enough mustard on it. And it will be Finkler to bring it back in with a corner. But it was a bright bit of play there from Jason Guerrier, who kick-started it. Finkler chips a little corner into the front post over the top, and it's Leia who meets it with his head. But unfortunately for Leia, it's skied well high of the bar.
Yeah, that might have been centre-back to centre-back there as Del Pierre got the little flick on to his partner in crime, Leia. And Leia not too pleased with his own effort, but not a lot he could do there as it didn't come across with quite enough pace. And he had to loop it back over to the far side, and it was always going to take a very, very good header to beat Nichevsky from there, you'd have to say. You see, he clears it now. And the wind getting hold of a few of his kicks in this half, as Janko's just molested in the middle of the field. And still won the ball, but does get a free kick for his troubles. It'll be Dmitrijevic to take this one for Sydney FC. Finkler once again standing within 3 metres of the ball. Dmitrijevic is in all sorts of confusion here, not sure where to go. It looks like a sub's being readied for Sydney FC. We'll get the news to you saying that shortly. And it goes long. And it's going to be out for a corner for Sydney FC. A chance to go 2 up again.
It does look like a change isn't far away with Timothu. I don't exactly know how to say his name. As the ball entered the box from the corner, it was a good corner from Dimitrovic. But Victory should escape this one. And Barbarousis on the ball plays out. It's won by Gersbach, but not for long as Valeri gets involved. Feeds Georgievski. He can't quite thread it back. It's won well. And played back through German to Carl. Then to Gersbach, who runs across the box. Finkler gets a touch in. It looks like Victory might be on for an instant, but well seen clear by Carver. Out on the right they go, Sydney FC. Pressured well by Georgievski and Valeri out there, but a little bit too much pressure, says the referee, Sean Evans. It'll be substitution time. Looks like a few changes for Melbourne Victory. First of all, number 7 departing for 22. So we've got Macaronis on for the Fink. No Finkler time today. Macaronis, youngster, making his way through. Finkler on. Rashid Mahazi on for Valeri and Naboo, who, of course, against Sydney FC a couple of years ago, made his name. It comes on for Bessart Barisha.
Yeah, a few handy changes there, just to try and liven things up a little bit, and also with the fact that this is, after all, a friendly game and probably not the be-all and end-all with the result, as the ball's flicked in towards the near post and it's Broxham who's in the best spot to clear. Does so, but only as far as Dmitrijevic, who plays it through well left from Sydney FC there on the right-hand side. Well, a couple of little bit of attempts to take on players from Terry Antonis. He still has the ball and is deflected out for a corner to Sydney FC, who the delivery so far in the set pieces hasn't exactly been all that crash hot, but with each of these comes a new chance for another opportunity to go a further goal forward. So just in case you missed that, we had a triple substitution. We've got Finkler, Barisha and Valeri off, so 3, fair to say, stars of the game, or for at least 4 Victory. And it's Naboo and Mahazi. Is that right? Mahazi and Macaronis who have come on. Corner's taken in. This one's gone deep. Coe's caught under it. Does well. Holds firmly, and it's looked a bit. Started an attack on the right-hand side. It's, I believe, on the right-hand side. It's a good clash between the two players there. Barbarousis was up against Calver, and Calver got all the way across and covered it beautifully. It's now with Broxham ready to take the throw. Flicks it back inside. Guerrier finds Leia. Then Del Pierre. Naboo looks to be leading the line now, I believe. Or at least playing very centrally. It's now with Broxham. And on the right-hand side, Leia should give it out all the way to Guerrier. And they use the width beautifully at North Hobart Oval. Melbourne Victory knocking the ball around nicely in this half. Barbarousis plays inside. Broxham. Now with Macaronis. Couldn't quite hold on to the ball. It's going to be thrown to Sydney FC.
So it looks like Sydney FC will finally make that change that we thought was likely quite some time ago. So 2 triple substitutions thus far for Victory, but this is Sydney FC's first change. Looks like Nicky Carl might be off. Yes, Nicky Carl, and on comes George Timothy on for Sydney FC. So Nicky Carl has been around a fair while in the A-League, a very, very solid player for Sydney FC. He's battled well today, so he's come on, and on comes Timothy. His first involvement is immediate as he throws in. Ends up with Yanko. But Victory win it back well when they have it in their defence through Georgievski. Goes across to Geria, who dishes back to Leia. And the right to Barbarousis, but Timothy does well and takes it off his boot.
Yeah, it looks like Timothy will slot straight back in the left back with Gersbach just pushing on. So probably a pretty defensive mood there from Graham Arnold. I think he's looking just to finish this one off and take away the hypothetical 3 points from the clash here in Tasmania. And it's gone down the right-hand side. Geria managed to get on the end of it. Cuts it back inside his defender. Now he's onto his left foot. Instead, he chooses to use Broxham towards the edge of the box. It's now out further. It's an early hit. It's going to go straight into Chevsky, though. But quite a reasonable attempt there from Mahazi. Look good to see him back himself, straight on. It's gone forward, back with Sydney FC. And it's now back out to Nachevsky. On the left-hand side, we've got German. Looking to use the players ahead of him. He does well. Back to German now, the 1-2 with Dmitrievich. And he tries to play it inside. Mahazi nearly gets a foot on it. Georgievski's in a bit of a running race there up against Burgess, I believe. And Burgess, his claim for the throw-in ended up being the better case for the referee. He's upheld. And it's going to be a throw-in to Sydney FC. So some serious new faces now as we look to see what the bench players of Melbourne Victory can bring to the game. And I'm sure Kevin Muscat's interested to see if they're going to be effective off the bench in the real season. As Guerrier is not pleased at all, as he is penalised for a foul, and I reckon the yellow card's more for the demonstration there. Wasn't pleased with the decision at all from the referee. And it's Guerrier who goes into the book with a slice of cheese. Certainly wasn't too pleased about that at all. Free kick to Sydney FC. Dmitrievich pulled the strings all day. Tries to play it forward early. Smelt's trying to get in. A good little touch. He could be around Co, but it's cleared out from Del Pierre as Smelt's made a very smart run. We have seen that a fair few times over the years. Just thinking a bit quicker than defenders, and he couldn't quite get the foot around that first touch as he looked to bring it down, then hit it with the left foot. But cut out by Del Pierre just in the nick of time. And it's going to be Dmitrievich over here to take their corner. Swings one in now. It's straight on top of Co. The header couldn't quite be kept in the area by Yanko. It's fallen out to the top of the box. Calver versus Calfullo, and Calfullo's been penalised for that one, and I'm not really sure if he should have been. That was a bit stiff for mine, and it's a pretty dangerous area here, especially with the wind. If they put the laces through this, it could be a dangerous one, Damo.
You're dead right. You're dead right. And we're into the 83rd minute, so it starts to get into dangerous territory. If Sydney FC would add another one, it's tough to see Victory pegging it back.
Is this one just too far out for Dmitrievich, you think? Or Terry Antonis maybe is the other one on the ball here.
Yeah, it's from fair range. It would take a stellar hit. Dmitrievich has been solid as a rock today, I think, in midfield. I've really liked his game. Antonis also over it, as you said. But it was the former that took the hit, and probably not the way he saw it going when he looked at the ball the first time. He's crunched that one well high of goal.
Just not close. He need about 4 goals on top of each other to maybe hit the bar and go in, I reckon. But if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle, my friend. So it's Co who's ready to take. It's going to be another substitution here. It's Shane Smeltz off and number 26 on for Sydney FC. And that is by an Antual. You have a dip of that one if you don't mind. number 26. Ancho. Antonio. We're going to go with Antonio. Stick with it. It's with Broxham. Back into Mahazi. A sharp bit of work from him. It's on the left-hand side now. It's away. We're away with Calfella, but it's a ball and all tackle. Done well by Calver there, who's stepped across from his central position and dealt with the danger as it came through. Still with the victory now. The ball inside. It's not quite good enough. Foot in from Macaronis. Couldn't quite get the ball back for Melbourne Victory, but now he might. Now he does. Barbarousas. Chance to hit at the top of the box. Instead plays down the right side with Naboo. A good chance to get a cross in. Does fire one in. It's cleared out by Sydney FC. As it was claims for a foul, but then a referee decided to yell play on, and player is down the middle of the field here, I believe, with cramp. It's Gary who's decided to play on. Melbourne Victory well in their right to continue the game. It's now on the right-hand side. Mahawi does well. Now flicks it outside. Through Macaronis. Back on the left-hand side again, all the way out on the far side. Calfella on the ball. Manages to keep his foot on it. Does well. His teammate intervenes, and then it's another hard, strong tackle. This time from Yanko's, doing a lot of work to get all the way back there. Melbourne Victory managed to keep the ball in dangerous area, and Calfella's gone down pretty theatrically, and I'm just not sure it was as much contact as he tried to make out, unfortunately, but it will be a free kick to the darker blue of the teams.
Looks like there's another one warming up. Corn dog for Sydney FC. Triantis. Just taking the jacket off and making his way somewhat to halfway, so we might see him introduced soon, as it's a dangerous set piece for Melbourne Victory here. Delivered into a crowded box, but well collected by Nichevsky.
So Nichevsky looks to go to the right-hand side, finds his teammate well, who chests it down, and then clears long. The newly arrived substitute runs around at Antonio. Couldn't quite keep it in. He did a lot of leg work for not a lot of reward there. Now with the victory, back inside. Well done. Mahawi does well to flick it out on the right-hand side with Guerrier now. He's run all day up and down the right-hand flank. Looks back inside now and goes all the way back out. Broxham, who sat very deep. Milligan, probably slightly more advanced role Milligan plays. Both obviously hold midfield, but Broxham doesn't quite provide as much in attack, you'd have to say. On the right-hand side now with Calfella. Chance to get a cross in. Gives himself a bit of space now with Guerrier as he looks a little tricky little flick, and it was lucky to really end up with a throw, I think, because he didn't really deal with it as he would have liked. And the substitute is about to come on, and I believe it'll be Dimitrijevic, who's been absolutely fantastic for mine. And for Sydney FC coming on will be Triantis. So plenty of new faces compared to the start of the game now. It's testing us, I'm not going to lie. We have to keep up with it, and there'll be a couple of the Sydney FC players and the Melbourne Victory players, but we'll do our best.
Triantis, whatever, he's on. The triangular, he's on. And it comes to Layer, he plays it across to Del Piero and then to Broxham. Comes out to Calfella, he's been busy. Cuts this one into the centre and then dinks it along almost for Barbarosis, but eludes the Kiwi winger and it bounces away from him and out of play for a goal kick. So you reckon Triantis has to be called the Triantula, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, no. Whether he likes or not is the Tarantula from now on. So Sydney FC keeping up with the Animal Kingdom. Got their own little spider in the middle of the play there, so I don't think that'll stick.
Probably not, as it's pumped long. Beyond halfway it goes. There's a couple of contests in the air, but Macaronis looks to come out with it. But Yanko also involved there, and Sydney FC just hoof forward, and Ko collects on the edge of his box on the right side. Antonio had a bit to do with it there as Mahazi takes it out of defence for victory to Broxham. Through to Naboo. It bounces off his boot. Comes to Sydney FC. They do all right. It's German. Oh, no. It's a sloppy bit of work from German in the end. He's looked to pick out Carver, and Carver's under all sorts of heat as Barbarosis picks it up and looks to race down the left. Plays it back to Mahazi. Holds it up for a little bit and cuts it through to Macaronis. He loses it. They run away here, Sydney FC, but no real options ahead of them. And a foul aids them somewhat. Halts play, and then they can try and pile some numbers forward. But really, Corn Dog, at this point, they don't have to do too much, Sydney FC. They hold a lead, which they claim in the 21st minute through Yanko, and we're into the 89th now, and I don't envisage too much added time.
No, not at all. I think they've been good value for the 1-0 so far. I mean, Victory's had a better second half, but I think that's almost by default with the way Sydney FC have... That's the good thing about pre-season. It's not so much about winning. It's putting yourself in situations that are genuinely like the A-League season when you find yourself 1-0 up, especially away from a home, as to be honest they are today, obviously not being Melbourne Victory's permanent home, and grinding out the 1-0 result. And I think Graham Arnold, a bit of a specialty of his is grinding out those results and finding good those little things that the teams further down the ladder, they're the things they can't consolidate on. That's why I think teams like Sydney FC, Melbourne Victory, obviously one of these teams, probably Melbourne Victory, will be defeated today. But Sydney FC, you take out of this and go, look, we managed to grind out a result. We had a lot of people missing from our first 11. As the ball goes through now on the right-hand side, Culfale's got a chance, rounds the keeper, taps it home. Easy as you like. As soon as I was saying they wrapped it up 1-0, Culfale just runs onto it, scores 1-1.
Too easy.
And I'll tell you what, Nichevsky will be filthy because he was just left completely open. And Culfale, with all the calmness in the world, has been pretty lively since he's come on. And Culfale taps it home for Melbourne Victory. 1-1 at North Hobart. That has come out of absolutely nothing.
It was out of nothing. Jizzy took his chance, though, didn't he, Culfale? And it's 1-1 now in the dying stages. Sydney FC look to ship it up the park. Del Pierre brings it down with a head. Coe now. Coe puts it across to Leia. So just when you thought Sydney FC were probably going to coast home to a 1-0 win here at North Hobart Oval, it wasn't even a half chance. It came from nothing, and Melbourne Victory made the most of it. It was Culfale. He's looked dangerous, as you said. He comes to Naboo. He controls it. Looks to zip by Timothy there, and Timothy does well, gets it out. Receives back. Guerrier comes in late, very late. Will be a foul against Guerrier, and Sydney FC will have some time just to compose themselves and just steady at the back. But Culfale, of course, he only just recently arrived at Melbourne Victory, but he's looked good, hasn't he?
Yeah, very sharp, and as you saw, obviously that was a pretty central role he took up to finish that chance, but he's looked dangerous in the wide areas and also cutting in. He's managed to dribble the ball well and keep it his feet. He's away again here. Chance to run again. He knocks it past him through the substitute at left back. He swings in the cross now, but it's overhit. And unfortunately, couldn't repeat the golden effort from last time. And that cross, I'm going to say, wasn't quite where he wanted it to go. And it's gone well over the bar for a goal kick. But here I am saying Sydney FC looking to grind out results. Melbourne Victory could just quite easily have stolen it just then and made it 2-1. So, football's a funny game, eh?
It is indeed. It's pumped long over the heads of the Victory defence. Coach will mop this one up. Skies a ball out looking for Barbarousis. It's won by Ryle out there, and it comes down that flank and is seen out. So there can't be too much more at a time. It's into the second minute, I think, here, Corn Dogs. So you'd think 1-1 will probably be the end result unless Victory can scrap something from this. Comes back to Leia and then to Mahazi. Mahazi, bit of an error there. Yanko on the ball, plays it out to the right. It's back to Yanko. He's at the edge of the box. He's collected by Broxham. It's a pile on the edge of the box. And Broxham, or is it Leia shown yellow? Leia shown a slice of cheese in the end. It was mayhem at the edge of the box, Corn Dog.
Geez, I reckon Leia's stiff. People flying around everywhere. Leia's ended up with a slice of cheese and a free kick in a ridiculously dangerous area. And all for me, that was just a tussle. And I could not see a foul in there at all. So whether or not I'm just seeing things or not seeing things for that matter, this is a chance now to steal it. And whether or not it was right, the decision's been made. And with the quality that they've shown so far, I wouldn't mind Big Yanko to take this. I reckon he could smack this in off the underside of the bar or something. Just give us a little bit of a special to leave with and just really make us excited for the start of the A-League season. But certainly come alive as the wall set back very deep when the wall's set past the penalty spot, you know you're in a bit of strife from the area the free kick's in. There's two standing over the top of it for Sydney FC. One of them is the big Yanko, I believe, and then Terry Antonis is joining him. So whether or not it's a little knock-off for Yanko, or it looks like it might be Terry Antonis just sitting to the side of it, and I think Nathan Coe better have those hands warmed up because they might be about to be absolutely shaken and stirred. So, to win the game for Sydney FC, Terry Antonis over the ball, reader, tee it up for the big Yanko. The ball at the ready to charge it down. He's held him up. The referee said, "You're creeping forward, my friends." And Kalfala, the goal scorer, is the one who's doing most of the creeping here. Remains at Yanko. Has a hit. It's blocked. As we so often see from those circumstances. It falls back out to Sydney FC. The ball comes back in. It's not a bad ball. It's cut out there by Leia. As it looked like the Sydney FC player might get on the end of that. And on the left-hand side, it goes back to take the throw. Not a lot of options. He holds it up. Ready to wind up, I think, here. Yanko offering. Yanko should be the one to win the header. He can't quite. It's flicked on, I believe, by Leia to his own goal. And that is full time here at North Hobart Oval. The team that's playing home away from home, Melbourne Victory, managed to snatch an equaliser very late on. 1-1 after Sydney took the lead through the new signing Yanko with an opportunistic volley. Beat Coldie's near post. Great finish. Sydney FC probably held firm for most of the game. Looked like they were going to just be able to navigate their way to a solid 1-0 win. And then it was Kalfala who ran onto a defensive error from Sydney FC, rounded Nichevsky as he came out at the edge of his box and slotted home with all the composure in the world to make it 1-1 here today. We've had 6,900 roll through the gates. Pretty good atmosphere, a heap of wind, and it's always a pleasure to see two teams of such high quality and that are held so highly in the esteem of Australian football come down here. Probably the biggest rivalry in the A-League, and we've had the pleasure of seeing them here at North Hobart Oval today. I hope to see them again soon. Gilly, what did you think about the game as a whole?
Victory probably a little bit fortunate in the end, but they definitely had a better second half than the first half, but in the end it was just opportunistic effort from Kalfalal that squared it up, and I reckon both teams can take a bit out of that going into the A-League season. I think what we saw from Victory is the depth of their squad. Kalfalal, of course, didn't start. He came on and was a real live wire. So we've seen a fair bit of depth from their squad, but also Sydney FC, because Sydney FC, of course, a lot of players out today, and they still had a really prominent showing. Yeah,
absolutely. We talked about those that were missing today, and particularly Bernie Abini and Sasha Agnosky at the back, and players of that ilk, seamlessly should be able to come in and obviously rested today. It wasn't be-all and end-all. I reckon both teams would be quite pleased with the 1-1. You think both these two teams will be up there. Certainly have the quality to be making finals this year, you'd have to say. But all in all, we saw some absolute quality players down here in Tasmania. We've had a great week with Melbourne Victory, just making their way through the Tasmanian community. Obviously, Sydney FC, for them, it's just another pre-season game. But for us, it's an amazing privilege to see teams like that down here. So can't obviously thank the two teams enough. It's been a pleasure to call this one as well.
It's been good fun, Corn Dog. That's just about it for us for this year down in Tassie. It's been a long season, but it's been our pleasure bringing this one to you live. We hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.
I missed my... I was